This video is sponsored by NordPass.
Watch this before you even consider becoming a web developer in 2023. Let's get into this video right now. I honestly can't believe how long I've been in tech. It's kind of crazy to see that I've actually survived to this point since joining tech in 2016. And it looks like I'll still be in tech for a couple more years. It's kind of crazy. But since joining tech in 2016, I've learned so many things that I hope could be helpful to you. So let's dive into this video now. I want you to understand, and this is very important, that anyone can learn how to code. And I mean anyone. Anyone can learn. Coding isn't as hard as you think, at least coding the more basic and easier things. But I think that's something that people need to understand. It doesn't matter what your background is. It doesn't matter what your circumstances are. It doesn't matter if you're a college dropout. It doesn't matter if you're a high school dropout. Every interview I've had in my career in tech, no one has ever asked what college I went to. No one's ever asked for a high school diploma. All they care about is if you can code or not. So now that you know that anyone can learn how to code, then it's also important to understand that learning how to code, it's not something that happens overnight, but that learning how to code happens through perseverance. Because I'm gonna tell you this, just like learning French for the first time, Chinese, Spanish, Japanese, French, you name it, right? It doesn't matter how soon you start, it's about how long you persevere and last and trying to get better at it. Number two, wait up. Before we dive into number two and learn more about the expansive opportunities that you can have in tech, I need to tell you something. As you venture into this world of tech, you're gonna come across numerous passwords that you'll have to remember. Websites, databases, API secret keys, they all require passwords. And if there's one risk that we all face online, it's by using repetitive passwords. Now, don't tell me you're not guilty for this. But how do we remember these unique, expansive passwords? Enter NordPass, a password manager designed to keep your digital life secure and your passwords easy to manage. By the way, NordPass is not just a lifesaver for web developers, but everyone who struggles with remembering complex passwords or worries about data breaches. Whether you're a freelancer, a part of a team, or running a company, NordPass will solve all your password-related struggles. It's user-friendly, secure, and designed to help you keep your digital life sorted. And the best part?
You can see NordPass Business in action now with a 3-month free trial in the link in the description below, or just using code ChrisSeanNord.
Remember, secure passwords are as vital as coding in your tech career. So anyway, let's go on to the next part. Now let's talk about career opportunities and the insane salaries in tech. The insane demand for developers continue to grow even here in 2023. Despite the layoffs, we still don't have enough engineers. It is kind of mind-boggling. The career opportunities that we have, even in the midst of this tech recession, to be honest, we're probably in a recession now. That's at least what it feels like. Even if I was to lose my job, I would still be able to get a new job in a matter of 1 to 2 months, maybe 3 months tops, right? And that's paying probably $20,000 less than I'm making now, if not more, if not just as much. Why? Because I continue to hone my skills, because I continue to learn code. So the opportunities are out there if you continue to grind even after getting your first job. But if you get that first job in tech, you get that second job in tech and you settle. You stop improving, you stay stagnant, you don't want to take a new risk and get that higher paying job because you might fail at it, then you will continue to stay where you're at. Now, salaries are insane. The average software engineer in 2023 makes around $110,000 a year. But yes, that's true, but not necessarily true. There are a lot of things to take into account. Number one, where you live, your experience, the kind of company you work for, because the kind of company you work for will determine how much they can afford. I know people who work in tech as a web developer who have been making $80,000 a year, if not $90,000 a year, if not up to only $100,000 a year their entire career. And they never went past that. I'm not saying that's nothing. That's a lot of money to a lot of people. But I want you to understand that just because you work in tech does not guarantee that you're going to make a lot of money right off the bat. All of these things really depend on your goals, on your aspirations, on what you want. If you are fine making 70 to 90K a year for the rest of your life, and you live way below your means, and if you live in California, you better be living way below your means if you make that income with a family, then that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you want to reach the $150,000 salary mark, $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 salary mark, let's be frank, you have to go above and beyond, but not just go above and beyond, willing to go above and beyond to hit that. So ultimately, how much you make in tech and your salaries is totally up to you. And for me, I'm very thankful for how much money I make now, but I want to continue to go even higher. My goal is to reach making $500,000 to $1 million a year before I even retire. Next, let's talk about passion versus practicality. Okay, so there are two things you need in tech to survive: skill and determination. Nope, not passion. Nope, not at all. That's very helpful because there are two types of people who do work in tech. Person number one is someone who has a passion, who contributes to open source all the time, who writes code whether they're sleeping or awake, whether they're in the shower, whether they're in the toilet, you name it. And there's also the other person who's in tech because of the practicality. We make over 6 figures, amazing work-life balance depending on the company you work for, amazing health insurance, and an unlimited amount of opportunities for us throughout an entire career. Just because you don't have as much passion as a developer next to you does not mean that you can't be a developer. Just because you don't love coding as much as a person you see on Tech Twitter who gets 1,000 GitHub stars on the repositories does not mean that you are not meant to be a developer. It's okay to be in tech because you want to make good income. That's me. I don't love coding night and day. I don't. Coding isn't my life. Coding is what I do 9 to 5, and of course I'll learn code after work hours to maintain my technical skills, but that's it. And there's nothing wrong with that. I kind of try to keep that immigrant mindset of do whatever it takes to take care of my family, and that's all that matters at the end of the day. Last but not least, what I want to talk about are job requirements. Why is this so important? Because this can help determine if you get a job or not. And what do I mean is this. A lot of jobs out there will say that you need a 4-year degree to work for them. Nope, apply anyway. A lot of jobs will say you need to know all these technologies to work for them. Nope, apply anyway. Every single job I've applied to, looking at the requirements of things that you need to actually meet to work for them, I've probably only qualified for 60 to 70% of the requirements they're looking for. So just because you don't fit all the requirements, just because you don't have a degree, just because you don't have X amount of years of experience, apply anyway. Why? Because you never know. Anyway, I'll see y'all in the next video.